Yeah, it's cool, man. We do the no-gi on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Jeff Shields. That guy's a monster. Like, I don't stand a chance with him. I don't know why he's not in, these tournaments.
Well, we can
taking
definitely.
people's money. Jeff Shields, you're in. Jeff Shields, you're in. But yeah, and then Monday, Wednesday,
so you're talking
Fridays,
about your uncles,
jiu-jitsu.
right?
Yes.
So you said they did not go the Bullard like yourself.
No.
They went to where?
Central High and Buchanan High. So,
and they have the records as far as wrestling specifically in what part of? In general, they have most of the wrestling records for?
Yeah. I believe my Uncle Robert is on the Buchanan wall. Robert Estrada. I want to say he took 5th in the state of California. And unlike other states with high school wrestling, we only have one state champion. Some states, I realized, I found this out going to college in Oklahoma, like they would divide the state up into 5, A, B, C, D, and as long as you dominate that section, you're the state champ. But it's not true, because there's 4 other sections that you don't compare your competition to. So it's very hard to be a state placer in California.
What do you stand at as far as height?
I want to say 5'3", but sometimes I feel like I'm 5'4", 5'5".
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
So, having started so young, you said 6 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you reach this height, and how did that go about? I mean, kids, hey, he wrestles. Did you have actually a lot of guys wanting picking fights on you?
That's funny. You know what? A lot of people talk about bullies, and I would say 3rd grade, I had a really, really tough guy on me. But other than that, I've never had to deal with anything. I feel like they try to beat you mentally before they could touch you physically. And mentally, I mean, my emotional quality is very high due to wrestling. Like, in order to just take stuff, and sometimes you just swallow it, or sometimes you got to step up, and that's one thing I was able to help out with, or wrestling helped me out with. It definitely didn't get me to shy away. But yeah, no, I guess if they didn't know me, they would definitely try to test me, which sometimes I lost, but
I mean, you can win them all, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So, your first pro fight was what, back September, right?
Correct.
How'd that go?
Good. It was TKO in the first round.
I'm going to take my shoes off, by the way.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Just so I don't get the whoop ass here. So, tell me about that fight.
It was against Freddie Mendez. I've seen him before. I seen him in the amateurs. And before that fight actually taught me a lot. The first fight with Freddie, a lot of people were holding me back, not holding me back, but giving me good advice to take a couple amateur fights, find out what your weaknesses are, see what you could play with, and what's too dangerous for your body to do, because everyone's body's different. I'm not going to try to size someone up because I don't have the reach on them. For most fighters at 125 pounds. And my first fight with him, he actually threw a lot of kicks at me, which I really didn't prepare for with kicks, not checking. So after that, I started checking kicks. And it taught me not to test myself in the cage. I'll test myself in practice. My first mistake with him was during the first fight was to have a good sparring session with him. If I get in trouble, I'll take it to the ground and finish him. But he actually did some good damage to my knee just trying to spar with him. So going into this first pro fight, I get a rematch against him, and I feel like I lost. Even though I won by TKO in the 3rd round, the amateur fight, I feel mentally he won because I was out for like 2 months, even though I won. But yeah, this one I told myself I'm gonna treat him, give him the respect that every fighter deserves, and take him out as fast as I can. And yeah, I got out clean. I took him down the first takedown, ground and pound, and the referee stopped it.
Are you hard on yourself with your losses? Do you consider yourself a tough student of the game? Do you reprimand yourself a lot?
Yeah. I think I'm tough on myself. I haven't lost in the cage yet. I'm definitely not going to shy away from it, though. It will come. Going into it, I expect it sooner or later.
But it just grow from losses.
Yeah, and it just but not to accept the losses is the goal also at the same time. So, I mean, if I don't accept losing to somebody and they beat me, that's going to pump me up for the next day. I guarantee that. And it hasn't happened here, but in wrestling it has. About, I would say maybe 2 of my wrestling matches where I knew I was going to win, I lost. Only 2 my whole life. Every match I knew I was going to lose, I ended up losing. Obviously, I knew the guy was better than me. And then in wrestling, it's not a one shot and then you never see him again. You see these guys weeks after weeks after weeks, and it's like, man, he whipped me 3 times last 3 weeks. You think I'm going to get him again? Probably not. So I go out there and, I'll take the loss, which I expect. I'll have the best wrestling match, though, in high school if I didn't know the guy and he was really good, because I had no expectations. So it mentally messes with you, which now in the fight game, I had a rematch already, but you really don't see that often. So you really can't compare each other's skills like really good, because you don't see each other that much. This is your first time ever being in a cage with him. So your technique does play a tough game in the cage, because there's so many disciplines you could throw at somebody.
So you pretty much coach at Brotherhood High School wrestling too.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's fun. I like the guys and girls. We have girls on the team also.
Nice. You don't want to mess with girl wrestling.
You know what? You're right. I just started going to the girls wrestling tournaments, and with guys, like how I was explaining earlier, if I knew I was going to lose to the guy, I'll put up a fight, but mentally I knew, like, this guy's just so good. But with females, with ladies, I don't want to get in trouble. There's something different. They won't stop. They could lose to the same girl 9 times, and nope, I'm gonna get him this time. I'm gonna get her this time.
That's some commitment.
Yeah, it definitely. You can't teach it.
So you're a coach. You were talking about the importance of technique. We have right here in back of us something. Let's see if maybe you can teach me a couple of things.
Let's do it. Let's
go.
get in there. Do you have any background?
The only background I have is getting my, behind handed.
Ah.
I'm only big, inoffensive. Big, but inoffensive.
I feel like I don't have the credentials to show any boxing or jiu-jitsu skills.
Oh, no, don't worry. Just whatever you think someone like me might actually be able to learn, you're the coach, man.
Well, sheesh. You want to do wrestling or MMA? I mean,
whatever you
the big guy.
You're the coach. You're the one that actually dictates.
Okay, so if I was my size going against a big guy like you, let's say that. What are you, a righty?
I use both hands.
Okay, let's say your left leg is forward and you're in your fight stance.
Okay.
There you
Here?
go. Yep.
That would be the way?
Yep.
What would
so then your right hand is up, because that's your strong hand, so we'll be back there. Nice. Now, me with you, there's no way I'm going to be able to grab both your legs and drive you backwards. You're just too big.
Okay.
Gravity is on planet Earth, and I don't know that much about physics, but I know you're too big. So what I would do is try to dump you with a single. I would try to get your hands up nice and high.
Okay.
Once I take the low single, the one thing you want to do is put all your weight on me, because you know I want to take you backwards.
Right.
So in order for you not to let me take you backwards, you put all your weight on me.
So I go like this.
And once you do that, I lift the leg and I take one step.
And then I'm dropped.
I'm basically just getting the tablecloth and taking it right underneath.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so, and it has to do a lot with timing. Like, I can't grab it and you're standing there and then I try to turn, because then you're like, oh, you're not going anywhere, I'm nice and based. But if I get you to push back and you push forward, once you push forward, that's when
then I'm on balance.
Then you're on balance.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Then
it's a lot of timing.
And, like, if you're working, obviously not with someone that catches as much weight as I have on you, but someone that's slightly taller and more pounds, hey, it actually comes into handy.
Yeah.
What else should I actually learn quick and fast?
I mean, So if I was a little guy and I were to grab you and I'm
Yeah.
here, dude, if I were you, I'd just pick me up by my hips, lift me
Right.
up, and power slam me.
Well,
Size
that would
does
be-
matter.
That would be terrific.
Size, and once I hit the ground, this isn't no mat. It's probably gonna be concrete.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, what else can someone not very smart like myself in this area
Okay.
actually learn? I mean, I already was obviously handled right there.
Okay.
Handed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with something else.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, first your hands gotta stay up.
My hands like this.
Nope, to your chin.
Here.
Chin, yeah.
Why?
Like
Why the chin?
Because if your hands are out, these small little hands, what I've come to notice is boxing with those big boxing gloves.
Right.
If your hands are right here,
Yeah.
or maybe right here, then I'm not going to really hit because I have a lot of cushion. I'm not going to fit. But with these MMA gloves, or maybe just the fist,
Right.
if your hands are there, these tiny little fists, like
They'll get
sneak-
across.
They sneak through the smallest holes. So my coach, Rudy Cruz and Stephen Bollinger, have always just kept me tight with my elbows in nice and tight. Also to my sparring partners, these elbows have to stay in.
Okay.
Trust me, I know, because if they're up, boom, boom,
Oh,
and you
so-
feel them in the morning, I know. I got scarred. And I keep my elbows in nice and tight the whole time.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Tell me about
It's a good little defense.
your coaches.
Yeah, so I have Angel Lopez, who's my head coach, who runs Halo Jiu-Jitsu, and then I just brought in in my pro debut, Rudy Cruz. A lot of people don't know. I brought this gentleman in because he's a very, how do I say it? Credentialed. He comes from a boxing background, but he did wrestle, and he trains with some of the top fighters in the UFC. I mean, he's down there at AKA when he's not in Fresno.
Right.
So I mean, just to bring him in and let him observe me at some of my practices, and I ask him, what do I need to do? It's the best feeling in the world when he says, "You're doing great. Everything's good. We hit mitts. I'm getting better and better every time I hit mitts with him."
You sound like someone that's trying to prove yourself all the time.
Yeah, and it's funny. I just give these. I don't tell the individual, but I give these individuals labels. Like, I know exactly what you bring out of me, like the best. Like, so I have Rudy Cruz and Stephen Bollinger, who are in my corner, and I got a third guy in here this time who's never been in my corner. My buddy, one of my best friends, Jake Stanton, and there's a reason why I bring this guy in here. One, he has good wrestling credentials, but there's one point where I just got tired and burnt out. I was starting to question, like, why am I really doing it? It's kind of boring now, because I might have was thinking about the green a little bit,
Right.
just for a second, but it wasn't really that either. And then I took a little break. I decided to call up my buddy Jake, who we train together, and we want to go on a run, and then that spark hit, like, oh, I'm gonna beat him right now. And it didn't have anything to do with paying bills or getting paid or nothing. My focus was on beating him, because we like competing against each other, and any guy who likes to compete against me is good, because good for me, because it's gonna keep me true. Sometimes I get guys who they're just I wouldn't say letting me do what I want with them, but complimenting me every time I get them in a choke, or get them on a good punch, and that's not what even though it's awesome to feel like that. I really need the guys who step up and challenge me mentally. So I keep those guys around. If you could beat me up, you're definitely going to be my friend.
How mentally tough are the struggles of actually becoming a pro fighter? I mean, you have to do your dues.
Well, that's how it should be. I couldn't tell you for a lot of others. I'm pretty sure that you have that little 15-20%, maybe 10% who just get off the couch and want to get paid, and don't pay their dues in the room.
Mm-hmm.
But they end up fighting and finding out that you should have done 3 months hard instead of having a really hard 15 minutes. So that's what I try to do. I try to do 3 to 4 months as hard as I can, without burning myself out, trying to have really good balance to my scale, because if I think 5 years from now I'm never gonna do it, I'm gonna quit right now. But if I keep doing every fight 100%, 100%, 100%, I'm here now. I mean, when I was 2-0 in the amateurs, I didn't think I'd be right here. I definitely didn't think I'd be here in 2018 fighting in the Save Mars Center. So, but just being hungry and getting out as healthy as you can. You know, I mean, a lot of these guys want to brawl in here, but you're only allowed those so many. I don't want my wars to be my first couple fights. I want them to be when they're, you know, $50,000 on the line, stuff like that. That's when it really counts. That's when it's like, okay, now I could really show my skills. But until then, I'm gonna get out safe. That's the only reason guys like Mayweather stay in it for so long. He's smart about it. Money does talk, so definitely to get out clean and head to the next one. As long as I can do that, I think I'll be good.
Makes sense. So you mentioned the Safe Mars Center, and you got the Copa Combate event going down December 7th.
Yeah.
The way you've actually spoke about your opponent, I'm even terrified of actually saying his name. So I'm going to let you do both the talk you've done about him so far, which has been very determinate, and his name, because again, I don't even want to get into that. Please.
Yeah, no, Nathan, I want to, Napolineto? I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but he's tough. He is tough. I don't think he comes from a pure discipline. I feel like he's more of a street fighter type, which those guys, you can't, you have to have a formula for those guys, and you can't get in a street fight with them. I believe this is the street fighter versus the athlete.
So you want to take him to your field?
Yeah, I think so. And to be honest, I don't even think I need to take him. I think my field is to close the distance and to take them down, but a man with his style, he will close the distance for me. Which, as long as I'm patient with my guard up, I think I'll be good.
So this is going to end on the floor for sure?
No, not for sure. I mean, if this guy keeps coming up, he's going to know I'm going to shoot. And once I change my level, his hands come down, and here comes my hands. So I have a lot of arsenals in my box. I feel good. And then even when I take him down, you know, it's not just ground and pound. If he gives me anything, he gives me the arm or the neck, I'm taking it.
Safe Mars Center takes what, 18,000, something like that around there?
I want to say, yeah.
That's a big crowd.
Yeah. The who's who come to Fresno, they perform there. So it's gonna be awesome spending the rest of my life here and watching these guys perform there, and just know, like, I was there before you, or I was there at the same stage as you at one point. Because I'm not gonna be here. My body won't allow me to keep doing this for too long. Plus, I don't want to push my body to the edge to where I won't be able to play some football with my kids when I'm older. But I feel like I'm coming close to my prime.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
So when do you want to do this?
Well, I just turned 27. I say that because it's close to 30, but maybe 31. And it depends how this business goes.